What's up, y'all? My name is Karen, and I would like to speak to the manager immediately. I'm just kidding. Hey guys, my name is Ty, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Chai with Ty. Thank you guys so much for tuning in another week. I am so excited for this video. It's very fun, and it's very me. Today, we are gonna be talking about the astrology of memes.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect upon this.
So I'm super excited because obviously if you know me on Twitter, I literally tweet astro memes all the time. And so my friend Isaiah is the one who actually gave me this idea. So today we're gonna be looking at a brief history, like where do memes come from? What really do they mean? How are they useful? And we're gonna look at the astrology of them. So obviously we can't look at the chart for memes in general because I researched and I just couldn't pinpoint any one particular thing. But interestingly, there was one meme that went viral in 1996. It was the original meme, actually. It went viral in a email chain. It went all over the world, and it started what we know today as memes. So not only are we going to look at the history, we're going to look at what planets rule over it, or what planets are involved with memes and some of the different types. And then we're going to have a look at the chart for one of the first ever viral memes. And lastly, I'm going to talk about why using memes within the astrology world and the astrology community can be useful, and how it can teach people and educate them on the signs, on the different placements, without making it, complicated, and still giving it that cultural and still giving it that cultural and social relatability, right? So let's get started. A few things first though, I am opening for April readings this week, so do be on the lookout for that. I'm leaving all links in the bio for that. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So first things first, we need to establish what the fuck a meme is, right? Where does this word come from? What does it mean? What's the importance? Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So a meme is actually a picture, a word, some type of information that's being spread and replicated. And actually, when I was doing my research and I looked at the origins of the word meme, Richard Dawkins has some connection to it, which I thought was pretty weird. But anyway, so Richard Dawkins wrote this book called The Selfish Gene in 1976. It was basically about how human genes are able to replicate, mutate, and evolve, okay? And so he uses the word meme, which is actually Greek, and it's derived from a Greek word rather, and it means that which is imitated. Now, think about a meme, right? It's usually an image, funny, or some type of video, some type of phrase. And the thing about a meme, it's continued, right? So people keep spreading and spreading it, and they keep adding on layers to it, and it makes it funnier and funnier, right? So for example, pretty much anything you see on Twitter, a phrase that gets really, really popular, and how it continues to spread and spread, and people add on different things to it. Or for example, if you are on Twitter and you just saw the Harry and Oprah interview, or even if you didn't see the Meghan, Harry, and Oprah interview, you saw it if you have Twitter, because there were reaction pictures of Oprah throughout the whole thing that was fucking hilarious, and people were adding on their captions to it, and the tweets were just blowing up everywhere, right? So that's what a meme is. It's something that is spreading, and it's something that continues to evolve. It's a piece of information. It could be a catchphrase, it could be an image, it can be a video, but it can't be a physical object. At least that's what I found out in my research, which I will link below. Pretty weird, but moving right along. So now let's look at really quickly what would rule over memes. So there were 3 important factors here that I personally found. So number 1, this is so obvious if you study astrology. If you don't, it's okay, I'll break it down. Mercury. Now, in the astrology community already, people know this. Mercury, generally speaking, would rule over memes. Why? Mercury, if you know a little bit of mythology, is a very mischievous kind kind of energy, very much the jokester, the prankster. And when you think about memes, it just creates like that fun, like mischievous energy, with people adding, you know, like their funny, like cool captions and shit. And also because Mercury rules over languages, linguistics, anything involving communication, and because memes are their own language that transcends culture, yeah, memes, I would say, generally speaking, are ruled by Mercury. Number 2, the second thing that I personally think plays some type of role with the astrology of memes would be Jupiter. Why? Jupiter is very much like that planet of like jovial energy. It's very humorous. So where Mercury is the meme itself and just our ability to communicate that and like share that and explore that with one another, Jupiter is actually like the humor and just that jovial quality that makes us all laugh at it. And it's like, oh my God, like this makes me happy. Like when you see that meme that just brightens your day because it's so funny. I would say that Jupiter is playing some type of role there, okay? Now, the third and final thing that I personally think plays a role with the astrology of memes is Mars. Now, Mars in particular, I feel like, so Mars rules over our impulses, it's action, it's the initiative that we put into things. And so thinking about it, reaction memes, for example, I would say that Mars probably plays the role in that, because it's like when you see it, you want to react to it, you want to retweet it, or when you see that funny video, you're like, oh, I can use that as something. It also, I think it, you know, relates to reaction memes because people are usually using them when they want to give some type of like attitude, or it's like a sassy response to something, okay? So to recap, Mercury ruling over memes, generally speaking, Jupiter, the humor and like kind of jovial, happy energy that comes along with that, the ability to brighten our day and brighten our lives. And then you have Mars, which is the actual reaction to the meme, right? So now is the really, really fun part. I looked up because I'm like, okay, what are the first internet memes? I want to see a chart. I want to see why this is so impactful. So if anybody remembers the dancing baby, yeah, literally that apparently was one of the first memes based on my research. If anybody, you know, finds anything, correct me if I'm wrong. That was the first viral internet meme that was spread on the internet, okay? And so we're gonna be looking at the chart of that really quickly. I'm gonna keep it very simplified where you get it, whether you're a beginner, whether you're not. Like I said, my videos are open to everyone. I am going to look at some of the factors within the chart that I found to be most important, give you guys a bit of an explanation on that, and then we are gonna wrap it up. So looking at, so actually a little bit of history on this dancing baby meme. So in 1996, Michael Garrod and Robert Lur, I hope I'm not fucking their names up, I probably am, I'm so sorry. Anyways, they worked at this animation studio, had some software, and they were developing this baby basically to show, you know, movement and how like that could be projected on a computer. Really, really cool shit, right? So they make this meme, not really expecting much, and even had some struggles along the way with actually getting it to work. But in the end, they get this dancing baby to work, right? And they email it. One of them emails it to one of their coworkers. And then more and more people have this dancing baby and they're forwarding it to their coworkers. And then before they know it, not only did they forward it to their coworkers, but they're forwarding it to their coworkers. And now this fucking dancing baby has just gone all over the email chains globally, okay? Like this wasn't just something that happened like in the States or, you know, well, I think they were in the States, but it wasn't something that just happened in like one general area. It was very widespread. They even like had a Kung Fu dancing baby, a samurai dancing baby, like so many different variations of it. So it does show like, hey, this is something that revolutionized our culture as we know it today, because we're using memes in this form and fashion and sharing them in this form of fashion, really because of this fucking dancing baby. It's ridiculous. Let's take a look. let's take a look at the chart of the dancing baby. So one really cool thing that I noticed and observed was that it has a Sagittarius ascendant. So the meme came out at the meme got emailed for the first time on October the 1st, 1996 at 11:29 a.m. in San Francisco, California, if anyone else wants the chart for that, okay? So I am using Placidus, and I'm on astro.com. So this chart has an ascendant 1 degree Sagittarius. So you remember that global influence that I was talking about? That's actually really cool because Sagittarius, Jupiter ruling over foreign culture. So what I'm kind of seeing from that Sagittarius ascendant was that this viral baby, they used some song too, like, let me see. They used this song called Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede, which is some fucking Swedish rock band, but apparently the song is like kind of popularly known, or was at the time. And so having that 1 degree Jupiter, not Jupiter, but Jupiter ruled ascendant, Sagittarius ascendant, is showing like, hey, it's gonna be pretty easy to understand amongst all of these different cultures, which it absolutely was. And another thing about it is Pluto is sitting right on the ascendant, also 1 degree, so making an exact conjunction with the ascendant, showing Pluto's transformation, evolution of things, right? And so it's like showing that this video, or yeah, this dancing baby video basically was going to have a great impact, and it's making an opposition to the moon in the 7th house, which is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, so spreading very, very quickly amongst the public, which is ruled by the 7th house, okay? Next thing that I observed and thought was pretty, another thing I want to note about the moon being in the 7th house in Gemini, at the 7th degree as well, I thought it was pretty interesting because Mercury also rules over like emails, and this went viral through email, so that was something to note. Okay, next thing I noticed, so 2nd house has a bit of prominence here. We have Jupiter, which is the ruler of the chart here, and the 2nd house is like gains, it's like what we value, right? So having Jupiter there, it's in Capricorn at the 9th degree, and we also have Neptune, and we also have Uranus. Uranus is there in Aquarius, which was the most prominent thing that I noticed out of there, and it was making, and it's making a trine to Mercury. So Uranus being the modern day ruler of the internet in the 2nd house of gains, right? Making that trine to Mercury, which is sitting in the 10th house of public recognition, Mercury ruling over communication and Mercury ruling over memes. Like, come on, this is great, right? I love it. And another thing that I noticed as well was that the Sun and the North Node are making a conjunction in the 10th house, also ruling over public recognition, right? Now, something to note, when I was doing my research, they did say how they didn't expect this video to blow up like this. Like, they literally were doing it to test things out. And one thing to note about the North Node in astrology, so it rules over desire, originally with Rahu, right? So with Rahu ruling over our desires, think about it, like as human beings, it's never really gonna be fulfilled. We're constantly going to be searching for more and more and more to fill us up. So they always say like Rahu is like the headless, like, dragon, right? And it's just gonna keep searching for more and more and more to like fuel it and feed it. And so it had that unexpected quality about it with that trine from Uranus to Mercury, as well as the Sun making that conjunction with the North Node, and it's like the video just constantly kept spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading, and they really weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting so many people to like make remakes of the video. I mean, it ended up being on The Simpsons eventually. It really had a grandiose impact on our society and culture, generally speaking. Yeah, last thing that I thought was pretty cool, so 9th house ruling over foreign cultures, long distance travel, doesn't really apply in this context. We're gonna focus on it within the context of foreign culture, right? So you've got Mars there, which remembers that action, that impulse. So people are feeling very inclined, ruling over Leo, ruling over the self, feeling very, very inclined to engage with this content, and it was also relatable to them, okay? Because you got Venus there as well in the sign of Leo. And so overall, like taking a look at this chart, just generally speaking, not really going too deeply into it, but I can definitely see why it was so impactful. The most important thing that I personally noted was having that Pluto right on the ascendant. Just having so many planets in the angular houses was actually what shows some importance, right? Another thing that I didn't know was that Saturn at the 3rd degree, Gemini degree, is in Aries, and it's in the 4th house in the chart. So 4th house, I would say within this context, is representing like the owners of this creation. So the two guys who made it, right? And they actually had some struggles a few times, like getting the code to work, getting the animations to work. So it's showing that delay, right? But eventually they do get it, and it's Aries. So it's pioneering when they do finally get this animation together. And it's pioneering in, I mean, such a way that, again, they didn't imagine, they didn't know, with having that Uranus in the 2nd house making that trine to Mercury. Okay. Last thing that I want to note within this chart, how could I forget it, is making a grand trine. Okay, so I love that. So it's the Sun and the North Node, which are conjunct one another in the 10th house, making a trine to the Moon in the 7th house, making a trine to Uranus in the 2nd house, all together creating this grand trine. Okay, so overall, like I was saying, even though like it was way bigger than what they could have expected with that Uranus being in the 2nd house, and then you have the Moon there, so it's spreading very quickly, and people are like chitter-chatting, talking about it, you know, just spreading it amongst ourselves within the email chains. So with having Saturn there in the 4th house as well, so Saturn is the 3rd house ruler because Aquarius is on the cusp. Technically, we would be looking at both Saturn and Uranus. So Uranus as a 3rd house ruler being in the 2nd house, so communication, like gaining. It has an unexpected quality to the gain, right? Which the gain is it being spread very quickly and making them very popular, and it helping. This like meme basically helped them within their own careers as well, and it gave them some unexpected popularity. A lot of people, you know, were talking about them, and it's making a trine to Mercury in the 10th house, right? So one more thing I want to talk about with the spread of this meme is the fact that not only, so it's spread amongst all these cultures, right? You've got samurai dancing baby, Rasta dancing baby, freaking kung fu dancing baby. Not only that, they started selling dancing baby merchandise, okay? Like this literally turned into freaking dancing baby empire, which I think is pretty cool. I wanted to use this meme, well, number one, because it was the first one that I found, and also wanted to get a good idea of what are some significators within that chart that can kind of give me an idea of what would be significators generally speaking for a meme, right? And so again, if you look at the chart, having Mars in that 9th house, what did I tell you? Like, you know, people reacting to it, and it's culturally speaking, or it's transcending culture rather. And then you've got that Mercury in the 10th house, very on brand if Mercury rules over memes generally speaking. Jupiter as the ruler of the chart, and what do we talk about? Jupiter, you know, ruling over that humor, right? And not only the humor, but within the context of this meme, it being spread and understood within and amongst so many different cultures. And then lastly, Jupiter being in the 2nd house as well of gains. I love that, and I think that all of the significators that I would have said, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, pretty prominent within this chart. So I love that, and yeah, I just want to say, like, yeah, like, now you see a lot of people using memes within, you know, our own community, like on Twitter, on Instagram, which I think is really cool. Whether it's catchphrases, images, videos, it's really revolutionizing the way that we approach astrological content online. Because oftentimes, like, let's be real, like, you start talking about, like, what's the ruler of your 5th house? Like, oh, like, what's your time lord? Like, a lot of people can get lost with that, especially if they're a lot, you know, newer to astrology. And so utilizing memes, I'm not saying, you know, that we don't want to teach those things and that we don't want to like say those important things, use those technical terms and really educate people on the practice, but using those memes, it's kind of like that middle ground where we bring together people who don't necessarily have as much astrological knowledge, but they know that they can relate to that in some way. And so that's already like a really good starting point to introduce them into it. And then you have people as well who have been doing this practice for a while, but they can also relate to it because they do have that knowledge, or, you know, they are those placements themselves and they find, you know, the information entertaining and funny. And so I love using astro memes. I'm gonna keep doing them. You know, there's so many different types, like I said, whether it's people using catchphrases or whether them using like words, images, videos. It's just so much great content out here, which I absolutely love. Excuse me. So whether you are you know, utilizing astro memes in a reactionary way, or whether you're utilizing them to educate other people, to teach them something, or whether you are literally just shit posting, thank you for contributing to the astro meme society. We love to see it. And if you don't like astro memes, then why the fuck did you come here? Why are you here? Why are you watching this video? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm about to continue this joint and eat some Mexican food. But I hope you guys have, oh my God, why am I saying I hope you guys have an amazing one, like we just did a live chat or something. But wherever you are in the world, I hope that when you see this, that your life is just sprinkled with a little bit more joy from looking at my face and learning about memes. So thank you, and I will see you guys next time on Chai with Ty.